Hey guys, got a super exciting video today. An hour and 19 minutes and 8 seconds of Path of Exile to Endgame content reveal. This is gonna be hype. Let's do it.
Sir, just
Oh
what
boy.
are we facing here?
A relic of the old world. Ready your men, Captain. We will only get one chance. And remember,
It looks amazing.
when you hear the whispers, call for help. Do not attack.
Got yourself a ranger there, warrior.
The whispers. What do you think he was on about?
It's Dorman, right?
Yeah.
Then Dorman. Shut your damn mouth.
Shit.
Why do I always get stuck with these rookies?
Hey, the kid's got a mean cleave. Give him a chance.
Quiet.
He's playing Slayer, that's why. Yikes. Dual wielding. Nice. Got some zombies there. You got your witch or sorceress? Sorceress, I'm guessing, right? Yeah, sorceress. Witch is the necromancer one.
A mean cleave, eh, Captain? Rookie can't even lift his own sword. Captain Oren?
Uh-oh.
Captain?
Ranger's the cool guy. He doesn't talk.
Rain! Send the signal!
Flare.
What the fuck?
Rain!
Oh shit! Actual swearing. What the hell?
On my back! Blade up!
Come on, come on! I'm ready. I'm ready.
No, they're not. The whispers.
It's a man.
No, it's not.
Fire tornado. Nope. Still got the whispers. That's no man.
Run!
That's a god, most likely. Final boss, maybe? You know, I don't know. There's a lot of whispers. Oh.
Captain! Captain!
How is this so bad? Who's this guy? Oh, is that the captain?
Stop! Humanity isn't ready.
On your feet, lad.
Sir, the captain,
You'll be fine.
No, it's another guy. Never mind.
Here.
That's bad. The pinhead's gonna come out. Nope. Even worse.
what is this?
I guess they were the sacrifice. Yeah, for the blood. Classic Path of Exile, just like
Get the body.
horrible, horrible things, you know?
Mortal. It can still be contained. You don't know what you have unleashed.
Your kind no longer control this world. We cannot destroy your body, it's true. But you will watch as we destroy everything you have built.
What?
Bind him!
I'm intrigued. This is a good movie.
Feed. Grow, my child. I'll make sure you can eat your fill.
Jesus Christ. My child's. Maybe that guy isn't who he says he is. Also, he's leaving behind, like, roots. Oh. Yeah, and then back to life. And this is the child, right? This is what it goes into, right? What is the story in this? I'm not even sure. To be honest, no idea. That was really good. Wow. I'll watch a whole movie of
Hi.
that.
I'm Jonathan Rogers,
Jonathan.
game director on Path of Exile 2. Now, Path of Exile 2 is going into early access in around 2 weeks on December the 6th.
Baby, I can't wait.
But even though it's early access, this isn't just some small taste. The game is huge.
3 acts, right?
In this live stream, we're going to be introducing everything you can expect. So without further ado, let's roll the gameplay trailer.
And the endgame, I'm guessing.
Existence is a thing of beauty, precious, but impermanent.
Weird
Life and
creatures,
death
temples,
are mortal
sacrifices.
enemies,
There you go.
and yet bound to one another.
Jesus Christ, what the hell is
The
that?
continuation of life
A lot of
must
torture.
be protected at all
I'm getting like
costs.
Aztec vibes. Oh my god, jeez.
Some
Never
have
mind.
said, my methods are brutal. To
We got
this,
factories
I
of
say,
bodies.
there can be no salvation without sacrifice.
Some sort of a hex tech, I would call it. But your magic and technology in one, you know. Different classes, the monk, the mercenary, the warrior. I don't know what that guy was. The shield. Choose when everybody else dies. Yep. The witch. Yep. Classic skill tree. Love it. Oh really? Well, transformations? I really like the mercenary and the warrior, to be honest. Warrior because I played a lot of Slayer in the first game. The mercenary looks really cool as well. Time freeze, what the hell? Wow.
We are faced with the end,
6 portals.
and I will do what I must.
Map. Huge shield. Towers. Is this the Atlas skill tree? Is that the Atlas? A ton of like unique bosses, yep. One crazier than the next.
Those who obsess with death, let them soon be acquainted with it.
Now, as you just saw, even in early access, Path of Exile 2 is a big game.
Yeah.
It's actually been 5 years since we announced PoE 2, and over that time we've revealed a lot, but it's been in bits and pieces. It's pretty hard to keep track of it all, so
that a
today we're going to
Chaos
do a
Orb?
full rundown of all the content that will be available at the start of early access. Classes, character progression systems, and for the first time, a full overview of the endgame. This is going to be a big
I'm
one, so
very
get comfortable.
curious. Yeah, I'm very curious.
For 20 years, Rayclast has been free from
Stash.
any sources of corruption.
Okay.
But the Count of Ogham, tempted by promises of power, intends to harness it once more. The dead are rising, monsters are mutating, and madness is spreading. Under the dark influence of corruption,
Guy's
the Count
massive.
doles out sentences of death to any who would question it.
Yep. Everybody else dies. That's fucked up, man. What a way to start the game, huh?
And this is where you find
wake up
yourself
on a
at
shore
the
again.
start of PoE 2.
Yep.
Explore the dark forests of Ogham. Traverse the barren
Forests?
plains of the Vesteri Desert.
Planes.
And delve into the jungle ruins
Jungle.
of Utsal,
So these are
an
the 3
ancient
acts.
Val city.
Yeah.
There are challenging monsters, hidden runes,
Cool mace.
lost camps and treasures, roaming merchants, and of course, unique bosses.
Of course.
No two areas are the same. It falls
That's
to you
amazing.
to track down the seed of corruption, the source
that's
of
what
all
it
this
is.
devastation.
Jesus.
On the way, you'll face fearsome monsters, meet strange characters, forge unlikely bonds, and uncover lost civilizations. But first, you'll need to pick a class.
Yeah. Mercenary or warrior? That's what I'm going for. Probably
Now,
mercenary.
early access will initially have
Just to
6
switch it up
classes
a bit.
available.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at them. The Monk is a fast and furious melee fighter. He
We're gonna
dashes
try
in and out
everything,
of
to be
combat,
honest.
and his
Like, I'm
mechanics
curious.
involve building up and
Because you
keeping
never know.
momentum.
Like, I like these classes thematically,
all
like the
classes in
mercenary
PoE2,
and the warrior.
you'll want to use a wide variety of skills to mix and match different combos.
But sometimes you never know. You play something, you're like, oh, this is actually pretty fun, you know?
To get new skills, you will first need to find skill gems. Using a skill gem will open the
Uncut?
gem cutting menu, which shows all the active skills available in PoE 2.
Oh,
You
so
can
they're like
choose an
skill
existing skill to
points,
level up,
basically.
or choose to engrave a new one. Since this is a level 7 skill gem, even if you pick a new skill, it will immediately be level 7, so there's no harm in trying out something new.
That's cool.
The monk primarily uses the quarterstaff. There are 3 schools of martial arts: lightning,
Very
Ice.
cool moves. Fire?
and wind.
Oh, wind.
But don't think you have to stick to just one. The best combos are going to involve
mix and
mixing
match.
elements of all 3. Let's try killing palm. Like many monk skills, this can be used to quickly take advantage of a specific
So you
situation.
create your own skill gems,
If there's
basically.
an enemy on low life, you can use killing palm to dash to them and kill them instantly. This will provide a power charge. Then we can use a different skill to consume that power charge for a much more devastating attack.
You got the corpses.
The
very
monk
nice.
also has powerful combo skills. Tempest Bell, for example, is a skill that places a giant resonating bell. Hitting the bell causes it to ring, dealing damage to all enemies around it. You can also
That
do
move is
things
so
like
cool, the
freeze
way
or
it, like,
shock
twirls
the
the
bell,
staff.
which will add elemental damage to the strikes.
The game looks so much more
The
different
monk
than the first
also
one.
has a
It's
variety
insane,
of
though.
abilities to empower his staff. If an enemy is close to being stunned,
much
you can
damage.
use staggering palm to punch them down. After that, any attack you do will shoot out wind projectiles.
He's taking a lot of damage. Holy crap.
There are 21 active skills for quarterstaves, so this just scratches the surface of the options that you have. By endgame, you'll be dashing from pack to pack, spewing projectiles and obliterating screens of
I mean, you
enemies
can
with
definitely see
huge
the
combo
difference.
attacks.
I said like it's a
Now,
lot
if you like
slower,
a style of melee that's a little slower but hits much harder
but not
than the warrior is for
slower.
you, he pounds
It's
the
much
ground
more
with
carefully
big chunky
planned.
attacks and can shrug off the hits of small enemies
Yeah,
with large
warrior.
amounts of armor. Even though the mace slams are slow,
I don't care
you
about
never
the
lose
shield, I'm
control.
like a two-hander, but-
Longer attacks can be retargeted as you go. And
Animations
if you
are
find
sick.
yourself committed to a long attack, you can dodge roll out of it at
that's
any
pretty cool.
time.
Yeah.
Among the skill option for maces,
Cancel
you will find a
animations.
variety of slams, fire attacks, war
slam.
cries, and shield skills.
Where's Cyclone?
Here, I'm going to slam the ground,
didn't see
rending
it.
it apart with lines of fire.
No
Any
Cyclone?
slam skill will then cause these fissures to erupt with lava. I can even run through them with a skill like Stampede to do huge amounts of damage.
And you keep using the
The
lava.
warrior can also use war cries, which can empower your next skill. Seismic Cry, for example, will double any slams from your next attack. The Stampede counts as a slam, so I can double that for even more craziness.
Jesus Christ, man. The
If you want to
synergy
go a
is
little
so
faster
cool.
and be a little more defensive, equip a shield. In PoE 2, you can raise your shield at any time to block all
Full
damage
block,
from
huh?
the front.
No
even
damage.
Spells.
No
While
damage.
holding up your shield, your stun meter will build as you take damage.
Ah, you got
so
a
be
stun
careful.
meter.
If it reaches
Yeah, but
100%,
you're
your
not taking any
stance will
damage.
break
Holy
and you
crap.
will be vulnerable.
So much damage though. Holy
Some
crap.
enemies also have unblockable attacks, which are indicated by this red flash.
Yeah.
If you see one of these coming, make sure to dodge out of the way. Using a shield also gives you access to shield skills, like Shield Charge, which allows you to charge towards enemies and stun them.
Cool.
While charging, you're also blocking the whole time, so you have full damage immunity from the front.
That's crazy. And then you charge.
The warrior also has access to totems.
Oh, yeah.
Some totems have built-in abilities, like Shockwave Totem, which can be placed to stun nearby enemies and trigger aftershocks like those from the
The
earthquake.
rocks falling down. So cool.
But you can also get ancestral warrior totems, which allow you to use any slam skill in your repertoire.
Oh, maybe like Cyclone to get it with.
This is a
no
meta skill,
maces, but with
which means
swords
that
and
it's a
stuff.
skill you can put other skills into.
Yeah.
I can take a slam like Sunder and socket it into my ancestral warrior totem. Now when I summon him, he'll sit there and slam the monsters from a distance.
Oh, it's like a full spirit now.
There are 20
Instead of
active
just a
skills for
torso.
maces, so there's a lot more to try out.
Just for
But
maces.
By endgame, you're going to be dropping hammers from the sky, leaping fearlessly into combat, and separating the very earth you stand
Yeah.
on.
And this is your end game demonstration. I love it. You start slow and then it shows you like at the end
Time
what
for
it
some
looks like.
ranged attacks. The ranger is primarily about the bow, but we wanted to make sure that she feels agile as well. In PoE 2, you can shoot while moving.
That's really
Combined with all the skills the ranger has that allow you to jump around, you will have a lot of mobility in combat.
But low health, I'm guessing, right?
Bow skills have a variety of lightning, poison, ice, and physical attacks. Lightning attacks bounce around between targets. You can also stick lightning arrows in the ground which explode when hit by the bouncers, or electrocute enemies to take them out of combat.
Kill this stun, yeah.
Ice attacks allow you to slow and freeze enemies to keep them away from you.
So it does feel like the warrior
Using
only gets
poison, not only
like
can you slowly
his
damage
main
your
weapon
enemies
would
from
be
afar,
like
but also grow some
maces. I'm guessing we
interesting
haven't had
plants.
a sword class yet. That's what's happening right now.
With 21 bow
I'm thinking of
skills
getting
and all the
duelist.
mobility and combo tools the ranger has, you
That's
can
when
take
it gets
advantage of
cyclone.
every situation.
I think I just figured that out.
By endgame, you'll be creating hundreds of arrows, be they falling from the sky, bouncing around between enemies, or spraying out of
Bit of
tornadoes.
a frame drop, I noticed.
You might have noticed in the bottom left of the screen that the flask slots look a little different.
Yeah, it's only 2.
In PoE 2, you have one dedicated life flask slot and one mana flask slot. Flasks gain charges as you kill enemies,
Yeah.
and typically allow you to heal 6 or 7 times if they're full.
Okay.
But that's not the only thing you can use charges for.
Yeah, what is the other
Charms
thing?
are a new item type that will
Charms.
automatically defend you from various debuffs or damage types. Having trouble with getting frozen? Equip a thawing charm. When it's fully charged, it will make you immune to freeze for 3 seconds if you get frozen.
Oh, but it has to be charged?
To recharge them, just kill more monsters.
Oh, crap. This
You
is
can
way
gain more
different.
slots for charms by upgrading your belt.
Oh.
The mercenary wields a crossbow
This is-
that can
this
be
is what I'm
loaded with
interested in,
different
Joe.
ammo types,
Yeah.
offering versatility, power, and mobility.
I
All
don't wanna
classes
play,
in Path of Exile 2 can be controlled with WASD, which makes this class play
Mercenary.
exactly like a
Yeah.
shooter.
That
For
sounds
the
weird,
crossbow,
but
you
I'll
will find
try it.
skills that work like shotguns, sniper rifles,
Yeah.
assault rifles,
Yeah.
and even grenade launchers.
Yeah, let's go, man.
But not only that, there are a wide variety of more interesting elemental
So they get the
arrows, too.
crossbow. Every class has
It's
like
very
a
fast to switch
speciality,
between ammo
you know?
types, as long as you already have them loaded, which makes the mercenary able to combo abilities together for devastating effect.
Oh, baby.
Use Glacial
go.
Bolt to create walls of ice to separate enemies, then switch to fragmentation rounds to explode the ice, dealing massive AoE damage. If I come across an armored enemy, I could use armor-piercing rounds to break their armor, and then
Armored
high-velocity
enemies.
rounds to take them down. Or perhaps I could fire a
Let's see
gas
the end
grenade
game.
to poison enemies before detonating the cloud with an explosive shot for massive damage. If you want to call in some suppressing fire, you can summon
Oh, you get
artillery ballistas.
ballistas.
These have a minimum range, so you'll want to prepare your position carefully before
Are they
moving in.
invincible? No, they don't. They get attacked.
There are 22 active skills for crossbows. By
every
endgame,
class
you'll be
gets their
calling
own weapon, I got
destruction
it.
down from the sky as
Or
you
like a
rid
s-
the battlefield
you know,
with grenades and pepper your enemies with
Not
your
necessarily,
automatic
but
shotgun.
to specialize in.
If you're looking to take a backseat
That
and
was
let your
the end game.
minions do the
Didn't
work,
see too much
then
for
the
the
witch should be
mercenary.
your choice. She can call forth hordes of undead monsters to fight for her, while casting powerful chaos spells that debilitate her enemies.
This is a cool class as well, actually.
Occult skills are some of the most varied in the game, with
Bit of,
skeletons, noxious
flame drop.
spells, specialty minions, curses, and sacrificial
I
magic.
did play Necromancer in like
Before
all
we
the
talk about
Diablos,
minions,
so...
we'll have to talk about a new resource in Path of Exile 2 called Spirit. This is a Spirit Gem, which allows you to pick from a range of persistent skills. All classes have a variety of these skills which can add some very interesting effects, like Arctic
they
Armor,
all
which
have
does
their own
cold damage
thing.
to
Like,
enemies
it's a lot
that
more
hit you,
specialized
or
this time, I
Raging
would
Spirits,
say.
which summon fiery skulls each time you
The
cast
classes.
a fire spell. For the Witch, though, we'll want to be using our Spirit to create permanent minions. These minions will be revived automatically when they die,
That's very
so you
cool.
don't have to worry about resummoning them
That's
all the time.
very cool. Quality of life, man.
Here, I'm using the skill screen to allocate which minions I would like in
Yeah,
my horde.
I remember seeing this in
You
the
can
other
see the
trailer.
spirit cost of each one. Skeletal
Yeah.
warriors are cheap, but weak. Useful for tanking damage and distracting enemies. But I want more heavy hitters in my army, so I'm going to unsummon some warriors and instead add skeletal arsonists. Permanent minions come with special active abilities called command skills. You can order these guys to detonate your own minions for even more damage and area of effect.
Corpse explosion.
If you want a bigger army, you'll need a scepter. This new weapon type is imbued with even more spirit, allowing you to
Two-handers?
summon even more friends. And if you want an even bigger army than that, you can take advantage of corpses to summon true hordes of minions.
Raise on that.
But what can a witch do while her army is at work? Well, she has a range of
Bone
chaos
skills.
spells to spread disease amongst your enemies, or
Oh,
bonus
yeah,
skills to
true. Yeah,
impale
there you
them.
go.
Or, you could curse them to make them weaker so your horde can take them down. There are 25 active occult skills. By the endgame, you will be the leader of a fearsome army of the dead, consuming everything in its path.
Sorry.
The sorceress bends the elements to her will, using them to unleash devastation on her foes. This classic spellcaster weaves a flurry of elemental magic from afar.
Yeah. Classic mate.
The elemental skills have everything you might expect and more. Fireballs, icy explosions, lightning storms, you get the idea.
Yep.
Each spell is unique and has many different ways to build and combo with others,
Yeah, the
even
combos
between
should
different
be really
elements.
fun in this as well.
For example,
The sorceress.
Flame Wall conjures a burning line that not only damages enemies, but also empowers all projectiles that pass through it.
Oh shit, yeah, I can
If you
see
place
that.
a wall and fire lightning sparks through
The
it, they'll
synergy,
gain extra
man.
fire damage.
That's crazy though.
It's a good idea to take advantage of the ability to automatically swap weapons when you use certain skills. Having a special staff with bonuses to fire skills and another with bonuses to lightning skills can really power up a combo like this. The sorceress can also take advantage of
That sounds
powerful trigger
complicated.
gems. For example, you could grab the Cast and Ignite gem and use it with Firestorm. As you ignite enemies, a counter will go up in the top left corner. When it's full, a Firestorm will automatically be cast at the
I
enemy
love the
that was
fact that
ignited.
classes are unique. That's absolutely
There
amazing.
are 25 active elemental skills. By endgame, you'll be firing off projectiles left and right as you rain down elemental storms on your foes. Now, those are the characters that will be available at the start of early access.
So,
But we'll be
we didn't
adding
get a
6 more
sword character
classes
yet,
with
yeah.
just as many skills and options as these.
I think there's 10 in total,
There's
right?
a lot more to come. There's one more important thing to mention about skills.
What's up?
Even though we talk about them as belong to each class,
Yeah,
in
you can switch
reality
around.
there are no restrictions.
Yeah.
You can use all these skills on any class so long as you have the attributes.
Yeah, makes sense.
For example, a poison ranger might want to try out using occult curses to increase her poison damage.
Pretty
Or a
cool.
monk might want to trigger elemental ice walls to use with his glacial cascade combo. The possibilities for cross-class combos are practically unlimited. We're looking forward to what kind of things you guys might find. Now, Path of Exile is a game known for build customization.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
And we haven't even scratched the
Mercenary with the
surface
bell.
of what is possible yet.
Yeah. Oh no, that's not a
So
mercenary,
let's
that's a
talk
monk.
about support gems.
Go on.
Path of Exile 2 has a system of support gems that can be combined with your active skills to dramatically change the way they work. If you find a support gem, then right-clicking it will open up this screen. Here you will find a variety of recommended support gems for each of your skills that you can pick between. For example,
It looks very
this is a
simplistic
multiple
compared to the
projectile
first game, I
support
gotta
gem and
say.
can be used to add multiple projectiles to any skill.
But
Normally, when you fire a grenade, it'll look like this.
now it's a lot more
But if we add
organized. That's what it
multiple
is
projectiles,
compared
you get
to the
3 of them. Once you have the gem,
previous game.
you can also freely move it between any of the skills on your character. If you want to have a multi-shot sniper rifle instead, then simply move the gem over to your high-velocity round skill.
Yep.
Generally speaking, if it sounds like a support gem should work with a skill, then it
Probably
will
does,
work.
yeah.
So it's a good idea to experiment. Note that you can only have one of each support gem on your character, so you'll want to think carefully about which supports can be used best with each skill for maximum
really?
damage.
Well,
Now, if you want to stick to the
yeah.
recommendations, you should have a perfectly good time. But if you want to experiment
It's
a bit
rare
more,
you double.
then uncheck that recommended button and you
Stuff
can see
like
the
life
full list
tap
of
maybe,
supports
you
that will
know.
work with your skill. There are hundreds of
faster
support
cast,
gems to choose from,
faster
and
attack,
even we
sorry.
don't know the results of all the possible ways these can interact. Each skill can have up to 5 supports socketed into it.
People are gonna break
And
this
if you're
game
clever, you can
hardcore,
come up
man.
with some pretty interesting ideas.
That's very cool.
Now, all of this is just scratching the surface. You can make frost vortexes, break people's armor, make minions explode, make skills repeat, make enemies set
Sounds
each
really
other on
cool.
fire, cull enemies, or pin them to the ground.
Jesus.
Supports let you drastically change the behavior of your skills and create your own unique build,
Yep.
or at least follow someone's OP build guide.
Oh, I will, trust
So,
me.
speaking of builds, let's talk about one of the most iconic Path of Exile systems, the passive skill tree.
Nice. Looks great.
Yes, it's huge. There are over 1,500 nodes on there. Now, a lot of people open the tree and can
Easy.
get a little intimidated at
Yeah,
first.
just stick to your
But
class.
try not to be scared.
Yeah.
There are lots of options, but at its core, it's pretty simple. Each level, you get 1 point to put into the tree. Each class starts at a different location, but they all share the same tree. Around your section of the tree, you'll find relevant bonuses for your character.
This is for the new players,
You
you
should
know?
be safe in the knowledge that there aren't many wrong choices here.
Yeah, that's it.
Almost all the starting
Trying to,
nodes
like,
will be
ease
useful
you in,
for your
you know?
character in some way. But if you do happen to make a choice you regret,
there's the guy from
you'll be
the
able to respec any
movie.
nodes you've taken by spending a little bit of gold.
Okay, so he's the guy who, like, respects your stuff? Okay. Respects?
Now, the tree is generally divided
Put some
up into
respect on
clusters
this
which
build.
have similar themes. In each cluster, you will find small nodes that give simple bonuses like increased damage,
Yeah.
but the real power comes from notables. Notables normally have much more interesting bonuses,
Yep.
and they tend to care a lot more about how your build works and what skills you're using. For example, in the mercenary area of the tree, this one gives a 25% chance for crossbow skills to not consume a bolt. And here's one that gives grenades a chance to blow up a second time.
Wow. That's very
This
cool.
one gives a chance for projectiles to rebound off terrain, as well as
Love
giving
it.
you some pierce chance to make that more likely. Note that even though this is in the mercenary section, this would work with projectiles from all classes.
Yep.
So there are often reasons
Yeah.
to go to different
Yeah,
areas of
yeah,
the tree.
yeah.
In order to get between these clusters, you will generally have to allocate nodes in the attribute
Oh, you get to
highways.
choose your
Attribute nodes allow you to pick which attribute you would like to
your
use.
attribute. Oh,
so
that's
it's
so
very easy to
cool.
get points for any attribute that
Thank
your gear
God.
might need.
That's very nice.
You can change which attribute these nodes give you for half price at the respec vendor.
Oh, that's so good.
In addition to
Wow.
notables, you will also find
Yeah.
even larger passives called keystones. Keystones have both an upside and a downside, and often require changing your entire
Chaos
build to design
inoculation
around them.
times.
A great example is Giant's Blood, which allows you to wield two-hand weapons in a single hand, but doubles the attribute requirements of
That
them.
looks really cool, I gotta say.
You can use a two-hand mace with a shield, or even dual wield them.
Holy crap. Damn!
Or how about Mind Over Matter,
That
which
was
makes
pretty
all
cool, man.
damage go to your mana pool first before your life pool, but you lose 50% of your mana regen. Skills like these can be tough to build around,
Yeah.
but if you're up for the challenge, they can be very rewarding. As
A
we showed you
positive, a
earlier on the
negative.
Sorceress, you can swap between weapon sets on the fly as you use certain skills. One of the new features in Path of Exile
Yeah, we saw
2's
that
passive
before.
tree is that you can choose to have your passive tree change as you switch between weapon sets to take advantage of specific bonuses on the
This
tree.
will take some planning. I'm not
For
gonna
the
lie. For
Sorceress, you
somebody
might
like
have
me
to change
who's not
between
like
fire
super
and lightning
hardcore,
specialization.
like I'm looking at this, I'm like, yo, this looks complicated. You know?
Or you could switch between one hand
It's
and a
not.
two-hand setup
You follow
in order
a-
to be
you
able
follow
to block
the build,
boss
you're fine,
attacks
you know, but-
while following up with heavy hits from your bigger mace. Or perhaps you could have a full curse setup on your witch to debuff enemies before switching to a chaos degen build for maximum damage. If you want to stick with just one weapon set,
Yeah.
you can just use these specialization points
Sounds like
as
something
bonus
I would
points
do.
to invest however you like. But creative players will find plenty of opportunities with this system. You can get weapon specialization points throughout the campaign from optional bosses and quests. For example, if I manage to defeat the Crowbell, I'll get a weapon specialization book. There are lots of other permanent boosts available from the campaign too.
The map.
On the map, you can see icons that indicate the many optional encounters you can find.
I see, +3
Some of them
spirit.
have permanent character boosts, and others have powerful items. If you're having trouble getting past a boss, it might be a good idea to explore and see what you can find. For example, if you defeat Blackjaw the Remnant, you'll gain a permanent
So
increase to
much
fire
damage.
resistance. One of the most important finds are spirit bonuses.
So there's a reason
you
for
can
you to
find
do
the
the,
first one here in the canopy in Act 1.
The,
Defeat the boss in this area to acquire
campaign,
a
you know?
permanent addition of Spirit. The permanent buffs you gain from Spirit are very powerful, and every class will find a use for them, so make sure you hunt down these upgrades. There's one in each act.
Okay.
Now, we haven't even talked about the most important element of character progression,
Yeah.
items. That's why we're all here, right?
Sure. I mean, for
Items
the
in
end
Path of
game,
Exile
but
can be broken down into
It's
4
your turn.
rarity groups: normal, magic, rare, and unique.
classic.
One of
Quill
the things
ring.
you're going to want to do as you play through the campaign
Nice.
is upgrade the items you find, and you can do that with currency
Exile orb.
items. An orb of transmutation
Transmutation.
will allow you to upgrade
Oh,
a
they look
normal
so
item
different
to
now,
a
huh?
magic item with one mod.
There's like
you can
more
then
heads
apply
now.
an
More,
orb
there used to
of
be like one head,
augmentation
now there's
to
like
add a second
multiple
mod,
heads.
then use a regal orb to add a third mod, and upgrade it to a rare. Finally, you can use some exalted orbs to add more mods to your rare to a total of 6 mods.
Jesus. Sick.
One of the things we think is really important is to make these options available to use as you play. All the items that add mods are much more common than they were in Path of Exile 1, so that you can use them throughout your campaign playthrough. We want you to find things on the ground that can be crafted into upgrades much more frequently. As well as making the drop rates on these items much more common, you can also get them by disenchanting unwanted gear at the magic item vendor. If you disenchant magic items, you can
Instead of
build up to
selling,
an orb of
you're not
transmutation.
disenchanting. It makes
And
a
by
lot more
disenchanting
sense.
rares, you can build up to regal orbs.
Chaos orb looks weird.
Another important area of crafting items in PoE 2 is sockets. Some items you find will have sockets that can have Ezomite runes placed in them that add more mods to the item. If
Oh,
I insert
wait.
this glacial rune into my helmet, it will give extra cold resistance.
Oh wait, sockets are
This
yeah,
is a
it's true.
great
There's
way to
something
solve problems that
completely
you have
different
with your
now.
build, like resistances or damage.
Interesting.
If you find socketed items that you don't have a use for, you can take them to the salvage bench in town to work towards an artificer's orb. This will allow you to add sockets to your existing items.
Okay, makes sense.
Body armors and two-hand weapons can have up to 2 sockets, while the rest of your
it?
armor and one-hand weapons can only have 1 socket.
Oh crap!
You can
that's
also
so
salvage
low.
items with
But
quality
again, they have
to
a
create
different
items
use
like
now,
armor
you know,
scraps
so
or whetstones.
it's not the same thing.
These will allow you to increase the quality of your items for an up to 20% boost.
Okay, yeah.
If you don't want to disenchant or salvage your
This is
items,
a
you can
cool,
always sell them for gold. Gold can be used to buy items from vendors,
Hub,
and we're
I
trying
don't
to
know
do a
what you
lot
call
to
it.
make sure that the
I
items
love
they
it,
have
the
for
way it's
sale are
moving.
actually
Perfect.
useful. Every time you level up, they get more stock, so make sure to check back often. Other vendors offer a gamble. Pay a flat amount of gold and you'll get a random item of a specific type.
Yeah.
This could be a great way to improve your gear, if you're lucky. Gold is also used to respec your passive skills. Take advantage of this system to experiment with your tree and rework it as required.
This guy reminds me of the guy from
Baldur's
Baldur's
Gate
Gate
is the currency
3,
exchange.
who respects
This
your
allows you to
skills.
exchange currency
Oh,
items
Alva
with
looks
other players on
different.
an open market, in exchange for a small gold fee. Now, all items in Path of Exile are freely tradable. We never bind anything to your character, except gold.
Nice.
Now, most gear in Path of Exile 2 is randomly generated, but there's another type that isn't: uniques. They are especially rare, each with a handcrafted set of unusual mods which can dramatically change a character's build.
Hear.
They're not just better rare items, they can do much stranger things that can fundamentally change your
Such a
character.
good idea for once uniques would be like actually
Corpse
useful.
Wade will make any corpses you run through explode into clouds of poison.
Such a great idea, I love
The
it.
Sands of Silk is a body armor that changes your dodge roll into a blink, morphing you into sand as you teleport past your
What
foes.
the hell?
And of course, some uniques are just pure hits of dopamine, like Quill Rain, which just turns your bow attacks into full auto by doubling your attack speed.
Holy crap. It's actually good now.
Each unique is something that you can build your character around. We try to make sure that most unique items have a potential use at endgame,
And they look
even if you
weird to
find them
sell.
early on. And as you can see, every single unique item comes with custom art to match.
That's awesome.
The last character
Ooh.
progression system that you can do during the campaign is
Yeah.
Ascension.
That's what's up.
Starting in Act 2, you will come across Ascension trials, tests that you must complete to unlock your Ascension class.
No more labyrinths.
We'll explain
thank
these
God.
trials soon, but first let's take a look at what Ascending can do for your character. Each class has access to 3 Ascendancy classes,
3?
but at the start of Early Access, only 2 per class will be available. Ascendancy classes are unique to each character class, so choose wisely. They can drastically affect how you build your character.
Is that the mercenary? What is the guy with the gems
As a
in his
sorceress,
face?
you could become a Stormweaver, a master of the elements. Tempest Caller causes elemental storms to be summoned each time you do a critical hit with a spell.
What?
With Strike twice, you can stack 2 copies of Shock for more damage. And going deeper into the tree, you can make all your damage types apply Shock. Make a Shock build
Sounds
from any
crazy.
skill. Alternatively, you could become a Chronomancer and command
Oh, that was the
time
time
itself.
stop. Yeah.
She literally has the ability to stop time with Time Freeze. Not only that, but she has many other time manipulation abilities. Using Temporal Rift, she can teleport back to a previous location, resetting her
Echo
life and
from,
mana back to
League
what
of
it
Legends.
was. Or with Time Snap, she can reset all her
Why is she
cooldowns
invisible?
and cast all her spells again.
What is that?
On the Warrior, you can choose between the Warbringer or the Titan.
Jesus.
The Warbringer channels the might of his ancestors to gain tremendous power. Using Answered Call, you can summon ancestral spirits linked to each of your totems. With Jade Heritage, you can encase your body in a protective layer that absorbs all damage until it breaks.
Wow.
Warcaller's Bellow allows you to explode
Can
the
you
corpses
move
of
in
your
that or
enemies.
no?
And with Great Wolf's Howl, you can ignore the cooldowns of your war cries. Let all that anger out. The Titan class is all about hitting big. With Earthbreaker,
I like
every
this
slam
one.
is a chance to create an aftershock. With Crushing Impacts, every hit becomes a crushing blow, which will allow you to stun your enemies with ease.
That's a
With
flamethrower, by the
Surprising
way.
Strength, you can take advantage of stunned enemies to deal 40% more damage.
That's a lot.
As a ranger, you might choose to be a Deadeye, an expert markswoman who can take down foes with style. With Endless Munitions, every attack gains an extra projectile.
Wow, that's awesome.
With Gathering Winds, she gains a small increase to movement
Whirlwind,
speed with
yeah,
every
yeah.
attack. But be careful, she loses them when getting hit. With Eagle Eyes, she will never miss, allowing you to stop wasting all those passive points on accuracy.
That sounds amazing.
Alternatively, you could become a Pathfinder, the master of flasks and poison. She can choose from one of several throwable concoctions, allowing her to spend her flask
Hopefully it's
charges to
good.
throw explosive bottles that deal various types of damage. A bleeding concoction will make your enemies bleed, while a fulminating one can shock your enemies, allowing you to do extra damage. Contagious Contamination allows her to spread poisons between her foes, while overwhelming toxicity doubles the number of stacks they can be infected by.
That's good.
Running Assault allows her to move much more quickly while firing, while Relentless Pursuit makes her totally immune to being slowed by enemies.
That is nice.
The Witch can ascend into the Infernalist or the Blood Mage. As an Infernalist, she can summon a loyal Hellhound companion. The Hellhound sets enemies on fire, as well as taking a percentage of the damage if the
Reminds me of
Infernalist
the
gets
Warlock
hit.
from
With
World of Warcraft.
Pyromantic Pact, you can turn your mana into Infernal Flame. As you cast more spells, the flame builds up, and if it overflows, you'll take
Or
damage.
actually the blood golem from the other.
Using Bringer of Flame, you'll want to make sure you keep the flames topped up. While your Infernal Flame is above 30%, all damage from you and your minions will ignite enemies.
Very
She can
different.
also transform into a literal demon.
Yeah, that's what we saw.
While in demon form, she takes an increasing amount of damage, but her cast speed and damage increase rapidly as well.
That
So
sounds
if you're
like
planning
very
on transforming
fun.
into a demon, make sure you stack a lot of life recovery.
Man, this
She can also
sounds
become a
OP.
blood mage, a master of life and energy. All blood mages must pay the price of making skills cost life as well as mana. But in exchange, every monster they kill will drop life remnants, which allow them to quickly gain back that
Jesus,
life.
that's very Diablo 4.
With
Holy
Crimson
crap.
Power, she can gain large amounts of extra
Again, I'm
life,
thinking of the
and with
Diablo 4
Vitality
build,
Siphon, she can use her spells to
the
leech
blood
life
build.
back as well. Once you've got a significant amount of life, you can use Gore Spike to make your critical hits deal incredible amounts of damage. A monk who is in tune with the elements might become an invoker. With
Cool
elemental
armor.
expression, the invoker will create waves of elemental power each time he does a critical strike. With faith as a choice,
Oh, it's like that
you
skill in
gain
the
the
first
ability
game
to
there,
meditate, allowing you to double
what
your
it's
energy
called.
shield.
That's pretty cool.
Choose between I am the blizzard or I am the thunder to specialize in cold or lightning. And
Elemental
I shall
hit, was
rage
it?
will allow you to turn into an unbound avatar.
Choose.
Each time you apply a status ailment to an enemy, you gain Unbound Fury. When you have enough, transform into an avatar to deal way more damage and inflict even more elemental ailments.
Like the show there.
Some monks choose to reach
last
into the
Avatar.
darkness instead.
The
The
last
Acolyte of
Airbender.
Chayula can exchange their mastery of spirit
I
for
never actually watched
darkness, a resource that can be utilized to both absorb and deal damage.
I like all
The
this
Shroud of
unique stuff.
Darkness
It's
will
very
protect
cool.
you from all damage incoming. But if you take Grasp of the Void, you will deal extra chaos damage from all the darkness you have. Their Dark Pact offers greatly increased resistances to chaos
Fearless
damage
gift,
and can
nice.
allow their mana leech to not only happen instantly,
Holy
but apply to their
crap.
energy shield as well.
Holy crap.
Another node you can take is Waking Dream, which allows you to see into the domain of the Breach Demons. There you will see the Flames of Chayula that can be taken to gain life, mana, and damage.
Okay.
The mercenary has a
Let's
job
go,
to do,
baby.
but which job suits you?
Yeah.
You might choose to become a witch hunter. Obsessive Rituals will give you a sorcery ward, allowing you to defend yourself against elemental hits in exchange for less defense against attacks.
Alright. What else you got?
With Zealous Inquisition,
Show
your
me the
enemies
damage.
have a 10% chance to explode on death.
That's nice.
The chance is doubled against demons and undead.
That's nice.
With Judge, Jury, and Executioner, your
Judge
initial
Dredd.
hit against enemies can deal up to 30% of their life and damage, if you're lucky.
Holy
This is great for hunting powerful bosses.
crap.
And with Witchbane, you can break your enemy's concentration, preventing them from casting spells as often as they would usually do. You could also choose to become a Gemling Legionnaire,
Yeah, they go with the
enhancing your
gems.
abilities by embedding gems directly in your flesh.
Oh, these guys were in the
Integrated
first game.
Efficiency will give you extra skill slots. Thermatological Infusion gives you extra maximum resistances as you sock up more and more support gems.
Okay.
Adaptive Capability allows you to use any color of gem without worrying about attributes, while Crystalline Potential adds extra quality bonuses to every gem
Jesus,
socketed
a lot of
into
like
your
passive
character.
bonuses, huh?
So those are the Ascendancy classes for the start of Early Access. But one thing we haven't talked about yet is how you ascend in the first place. Ascension in Path of
Yeah.
Exile 2 requires completion of one of the Great Trials,
Yeah.
which you'll find as you progress through the campaign.
And we're getting
Each
a
one
third
is associated
ascension,
with
by
one
the
of
way,
the
so
major
imagine
cultures of
that.
Rayclast. Located in the Vasteri Plains are the Maraketh, a culture of rich tales and brutal traditions, who must do whatever it takes to survive in the desert. The highest position in Maraketh culture is a Sekima, and it is not a title given freely. All aspirants must complete the Trial of the Sekimas, a grueling gauntlet that will test their strength, will, cunning, and patience. To enter, a warrior of the Maraketh must prove their worth by trapping the soul of a djinn in a coin, and you are no different.
Hopefully no traps. Just don't go
Once
for
you have
traps.
earned your coin, it may be placed on the relic altar to begin the trial.
Hey, that's the thing from the fuck, what was that thing called, man? I forgot. It was the same UI.
In the Trial of the Sekimas, each room has its own challenges to overcome. In this room, each rare monster you kill will send its blood to the chalice in the center of the room.
That's cool.
Once the chalice is filled, you will be able to proceed. While fighting monsters in the trial, you will need to be very careful. Each hit will not only hurt you, but will damage your honor. The monsters are well telegraphed, so that you can avoid their attacks, but if
Oh,
you run out of
no.
honor, you will fail the trial and need to
Oh
find another
no,
coin
this
in order
is
to
what's
try
it
again.
called? I hate
It is
that
a good
shit.
idea to make sure that you are well prepared before challenging the trial of the
Oh,
seconds.
they're not making this easy, huh? I forgot what it's called. Not
After each
Sanctuary.
room, you will be
but like
rewarded. In this case, you have been given a key
Damn it,
that
I
can be
forgot what it's
used to
called.
unlock chests
The
later
temple
in the
thing.
trial. Once you have claimed your reward, you will be shown a map of the rest of the floor and may choose how you wish to proceed.
This is
Which challenges
Okay,
would
I
you like
get
to
you.
face?
I
And
get what
which
you're doing.
rewards do you want to claim?
Oh, I hate that.
Some rooms are more dangerous,
Freaking
afflicting
hate
you
it.
with debuffs that will persist for the entire
So
trial.
got no traps,
For
but
example,
this place might have
entering
traps.
this room will afflict you with spiked shell that will cause all monsters in the rest of the trial to
Oh,
have
man, what was
50%
the name, man?
increased life. You will want to take care if you choose such a path. There are many different challenges and rewards as you journey through the trial. Deadly traps, waves of monsters,
There are traps, of course.
and strange artifacts will test your honor. As you progress, you'll be able to gain boons from the Jinn, which will help you on your journey. For example, the Sekima's cloak will revive you once if you die, giving you a second shot at a run.
That's good.
One of the rewards you may find is Sacred Water,
I'm looking at the
an
names, I can't
extremely
find it.
valuable and treasured resource to the Jinn and the Marraketh. Trading it with the Jinn will allow you to receive many benefits. You can recover honor, gain additional boons, or remove afflictions. At the end of the floor, you'll find a powerful boss which will truly test your limitations. In order to ascend, you will need to defeat him.
Show the damage top right, love it. Finally got some damage meters, you know?
Having defeated the boss, you've earned the right to ascend. But first, the loot.
Yep.
The keys you have found may be used to open the various treasures in the
Makes
vault
sense.
at the end of the floor. We only have a single bronze key, so we'll just have to open one of these small chests. If you want to open the
That's
better
it.
ones, you'll need silver or gold
Orb
keys.
of Augmentation, baby.
Let's use the
go.
Altar of Ascendancy. Your first ascension will allow you to pick your class and grant you 2 points to use in the tree. Now there are more floors and many more rewards that can be found within the Trial of the Sekimas, but we'll save that for the section on the endgame. For now,
What
let's
for?
talk about the second ascendancy
to get
trial,
more points,
the
obviously,
Trial of
yeah.
Chaos. In Path of Exile 2, you can choose whichever trial you like to earn your ascension.
Oh, that's
Each
cool.
culture on Rayclast had their own methods to ascend.
Oh.
If the Trial of the Sekimas is not your kind of playstyle,
It's not.
or you're finding it too difficult, you could try another. You can gain all your ascension points from just one, or mix and match them. It's up to you. For
What is this
early
one?
access, we will have 2 trials as options, with a 3rd trial coming later for the full release. While exploring the Vaal jungle, you'll discover the Temple of Chaos. Before the Vaal embraced the science of corruption, their civilization worshipped chaos. This ancient trial was once used by the Vaal to test their high priests. A high priest of the Vaal must show willingness to risk everything to gain power. Entry to the trial requires a
that
token
the
from a
ultimate
strange
ultimatum
entity
guy?
known only as the Trial Master.
I think so.
For
yeah, it
those
is.
in which he
It
sees
is.
potential, he
It
shall
is. I hate
inscribe an
this too.
ultimatum.
I hate this as well.
Many have attempted these trials in search of greatness.
Great.
Most have perished.
I'm screwed.
Will you be able to defy the odds? Before you begin each chamber,
I don't
the
hate
Trial
him, it's
Master will
just
offer you a
for
reward
some
and
other
a
stuff,
choice.
you know?
Choose one of 3 tribulations to
Yeah.
affect you through the rest of the trial.
Oh god, no.
These modifiers might beef up the monsters, curse the player,
a small
or
room
add
as
environmental hazards like turrets or trap runes.
Unless
In
he
this
opens
case,
up
we'll be
something?
picking shocking turrets.
Okay, it is a room. It's not like a circle. Okay, gotcha.
As you enter the room, the Trial Master will fill it with hazards to test your commitment. In this case, you must destroy all the monsters that fill the room, while dealing with the lightning projectiles from the shocking
elevator.
turrets.
Yeah, this one doesn't look so bad. Got 10 waves though, so yeah. This is the first one. This one's easy. Very cool. Just walking towards him. This one doesn't look so bad, I guess.
After each room, you will need to make a choice. Take the rewards you have earned so far, or go double or nothing. Increase your rewards, but take on more risk. Each tribulation you add is minor on its own, but they quickly stack on top of each other and can become overwhelming.
Yep.
There are many types of chambers in the trial. Each will test your resolve in different ways.
Jesus.
This one simply requires you survive for a certain amount of time.
A lot of
Another
mini
requires
games,
you to escort the stone idol through the level as elevators full of monsters descend to attack you. Should you be able to get through the first 3 chambers, you will face your first boss. The order of the bosses is random,
It's one
and
crazy
combined
looking
with the
crow compared to
tribulations
the
you have
first
selected,
game.
the fight will never feel the same. After defeating the boss, you may claim your rewards. Of course, there are the items, but you also gain the right to ascend. If you already did the Trial of the Sycamores, then you can claim 2 more points to add to your Ascendancy class. Now, it's possible to go much deeper. There are more bosses, rewards, and risks to take, but we'll talk more about that when we get to Endgame.
Let's do it.
So how about we talk about that now?
Sure.
So far, we've only been showing you footage from the campaign, but some people would argue that the endgame is where the game truly begins.
Hell yeah.
Something that happens almost every time a new action RPG launches is people saying, there isn't enough endgame content.
I hate that.
Well, we want to make sure that in PoE 2, people don't feel that way.
Thank you.
And we actually only changed our development priority for this recently. The first 3 acts of PoE 2 already take around 25 hours to complete if you're a new player. This is already a pretty significant campaign. On the other hand, people spend hundreds of hours in endgame each league.
That's what I'm talking about.
We realized that finishing the rest of the campaign for early access was actually a bad idea. Instead of having acts 4 to 6 in early access, we could concentrate on endgame and make that great.
That's good.
For new players, a 25-hour campaign is already a huge game with lots of content. But for existing action RPG players, what you mostly care about is all the endgame challenges to overcome.
True.
So several months ago, we switched the entire development team's focus over to making endgame content. At the start of early access, there'll be 50 bosses and around 400 monster types.
Well, they said
but the great thing is that the rest of the game is like 80% there.
Okay, gotcha.
We'll be adding content to roughly double the size of the game during early access and into release. Now, in order to make the endgame happen at the same character level as what it would be after we added the rest of the acts, we've added a second difficulty level called Cruel,
yeah,
where
makes
you
sense.
repeat the campaign with all the monsters
It's what
and
they used to
bosses
do in the
leveled
old
up.
one, yeah.
And of course, new rewards.
Yeah, makes sense.
You can kind of think of it as like a new game plus.
Yeah.
It's also
Again,
a lot
that's what they
faster
did
to
in
get
the
through the
first game.
content the second time as your clear speed increases. That will take you to around level 65, where the endgame begins. Once we add the remaining 3 acts, we'll be removing Cruel difficulty.
Makes sense.
So you'll progress straight from the end of Act 6 to endgame. But what is the endgame?
Yeah.
To explain that, I'll hand over to Mark. He can tell you all about it.
I'm excited. That's what we came
Hi,
for.
I'm Mark Roberts, Game Director on Path of Exile 2. Well, one thing that Path of Exile is known for is having a lot of distinct endgame content to choose between.
Hell yeah.
Each endgame mechanic needs to have its own progression system, areas, bosses, rewards, and player power that can only be gained from that content. We are going to be adding a lot more over time, but for Path of Exile 2 we decided to start with 7 distinct systems you can progress through.
This is the Atlas, and it serves as the core of the endgame for Path of Exile 2. It's infinite and expands in all directions. Now, we are not going to spoil the plot too much here, but corruption from the beast has blighted the land, and your objective is to help fight it. In the center of the Atlas you will find the Ziggurat, a temple in which the Val research the fundamentals of space and time. Here, we can open portals to nearby locations and begin cleansing corruption and finding resources. In order to power the portal device, we will need waystones. Each waystone has a tier, which will determine the level of the monsters that you will face. To go to an area, simply click one that is adjacent to an area that you have already completed. Insert the waystone and click Traverse. Portals will open, allowing you and your party to travel to the area you have selected. All the areas in the endgame feel distinct from the locations in the campaign.
Holy crap,
and we
is
have
that
dialed the randomization up to 11.
Fuck, what's
the
it
monster
called?
packs you will face in each map are totally random, and the combination of these can lead to some very interesting combat situations. There are over 400 monster types in early access, and they have a lot of varied and interesting abilities. Depending on which combinations you face, you might find some serious challenges. In order to cleanse the corruption from the area, you will need to defeat all the powerful rare and unique enemies in it. Once you have done that, the area will be marked as completed and you will be able to travel past it to progress deeper into the world. If you die, then the map can no longer be run, and you will have to find another way around to get to the areas behind it. There are also all kinds of other random encounters you might run into as you play maps. One such encounter are precursor artifacts. These are ancient, corrupting monuments that irradiate the monsters around them. The monsters that feed off the corruption are drawn to their power. If you defeat the monsters and cleanse the artifact, you will get a powerful temporary buff. Some of the buffs make you faster, others rain lightning or fire around you, and some even give you increased experience or help you find better items. You can also find strong boxes. These enigmatic chests guard piles of treasure.
Strong boxes. Okay, so we're doing rituals, we're doing strong boxes.
Monsters lie in wait to attack you the moment
we're doing
you
all the
open
previous
it,
leagues.
and the boxes often have mechanisms to unleash powerful spells or dangerous debuffs. There are different types of strongboxes containing different items, and you can even use your currency items to craft them on the fly, so you can optimize the contents.
Cool.
But be careful of opening one you can't handle.
So it creates like an arena. There's no escape now.
Sometimes you'll discover monsters frozen in essences, solidified, crystalline.
Okay, we're doing all the previous
monsters
leagues.
Can
That's
be
pretty
broken
cool.
free. If you defeat them, the essence they drop can be used to upgrade normal items to magic items with a guaranteed mod from a category.
Sorry. Yeah, no.
For example, we could use this one on some boots to ensure a movement speed mod.
Oh, nice. 35%. That's pretty good.
Rarely, essences will also drop that allow you to upgrade magics to rares, adding the guaranteed mod.
Yep, correct. Great.
This is incredibly powerful, since it allows you to get a second deterministic mod in your crafting projects. Combining these with the currencies that are commonly found in Rayclast for modifying items, and we can get a very nice pair of boots indeed.
Yep.
Waystones, like all items, can also be crafted using your currency items. Adding prefix mods will improve the
maps
rewards,
again.
while suffix mods increase
Except you're in
danger.
like special maps now. You can
The more
just use
dangerous
these
a
to go
map
to any
is,
map that you want.
the more
Gotcha.
waystones
well,
will
that's,
drop.
you know, close to where you
Adding
are.
mods to your waystones is key to progressing to higher
That's
tiers
a
and
good idea.
sustaining them, but it will require you to take on larger challenges.
Yep.
There are a variety of factors you have to consider when crafting your waystones.
Jeez,
Some
those
maps will have higher
explosions.
density, some lower, some have more magic and rare chests, or monsters, some are more linear, and others more open. Make sure you explore and think about what makes certain maps good if you want to maximize your returns. As you cleanse corruption from higher and higher tiers of the Atlas, you will gain points that you can spend in the Atlas tree. This tree allows you to juice the danger and rewards of all
Doriani's
areas
back.
in the endgame.
Looks a bit different.
You could increase the
Still
number
looks
of monsters, the number of rares, the number of precursor artifacts or strongboxes, even the quantity of item drops. As you explore the endgame world map, you'll
quantity?
notice various different biomes.
Yeah.
From snow-capped mountains to dense jungle
in a way, it's a bit like
Most
Delve.
maps are restricted to certain biomes. As you continue to explore deeper into the Atlas, there are all sorts of things to discover. These cities are constructed by
Or is
different
red the
peoples
one
of
that you failed?
Rayclast and have specific items that can be found there. These strange structures marked on the map don't appear to do anything for now. Perhaps you'll work out how to use them later. You might find unique maps like
Ooh,
Untainted
Untainted
Paradise,
Paradise.
an
It's an actual
undisturbed
island.
island full of
Yeah,
beasts
that's pretty
that
cool.
give an extreme amount of experience.
So this is like Delve.
You
That's
may
what
even
it
find
is.
a
It's
lonely
Delve
man
mixed
just
with Atlas.
enjoying his retirement who will give you a unique item for free.
Nice.
In addition, you can find special areas that would make a good spot to set up camp.
Your
Clear
hideouts.
these areas of their hostile inhabitants, and you'll be able to claim them as your own hideout.
Nice.
You can decorate your hideout as you see fit, and invite various NPCs to join you there to create your own personal base of
I
operations.
didn't think about the hideouts, but it's true. That's very nice.
A
That's
great
lot of
tool for
enemies.
exploration are towers. These mysterious precursor constructs are dotted around the Atlas. Completing the tower will reveal a large area around it, allowing you to scout out your next challenge. There are lots of things to find, so keep looking. Some sections of your Atlas are influenced by corruption. This adds extra modifiers to the maps in the region, increasing difficulty and rewards. Here, slaying monsters in close proximity to each other
Like
will
the
cause
Atlas,
the vestiges of corruption
influence,
within
was
them
it?
to merge together, forming powerful and grotesque
Oh, yeah,
abominations.
I forgot what it's
You
called.
may have noticed while looking at the Atlas that some of the areas have these icons above them.
Yeah, what
the
is that?
icon indicates that the area contains some kind of special encounter. This icon indicates that the area has a powerful boss. Because only 1 in 4 maps contain a map boss, we are able to make them very powerful and very rewarding.
Oh, only 1
These
in
bosses
4?
come from the campaign, but have had their difficulty increased with changes to AI and some of their abilities. It's worth noting that because you can see where the bosses are, you can choose to take them on or avoid them. If you do choose to hunt bosses though, then you will be rewarded with special points for the boss hunting section of the Atlas skill tree.
So
the
the
points
Atlas
here
skill
will
tree
allow you to specialize in boss killing, giving you much greater
It's
rewards
different
for defeating
trees,
them.
not only one tree, it's like multiple ones.
For each different type of content
there
in the
you go.
endgame, we are adding specialized trees in order to make it so you don't feel the need to respec your points when you change between different types of content. We will be showing you 7 of these by
So
the
it's a
end
lot
of this
smaller, but it's
presentation, so there
divided
is still
now.
a lot more to come.
Sextons?
Bosses are not the only icon you will see on the Atlas.
Breach?
Let's take a look at one of the endgame
that a
systems,
ritual on the left?
Breach.
Yeah, Breach,
if you played PoE 1, you might be familiar with Breach. For PoE 2, we have created sequels to several PoE 1
doing
leagues.
Breach.
While the mechanic is familiar, the monsters, bosses, rewards, and progression are all new. A breach is a tear in the fabric of reality. Opening it will allow you to see the demons and otherworldly monstrosities that lie in wait
this one I started playing
other
out of
plane
Exile
of
1,
existence.
so
By engaging
holds
with
a
a
special
breach,
place in
you'll
my,
create a bridge
in my
between
heart,
their world and Rayclast. In order to keep the breach open, you will need to kill the demons that pour forth. The faster you can kill the monsters, the more monsters you will fight, and the more loot you will find. You can also find clasped hands that will open and drop more items if you run over them. These can be a good boost to the rewards of the breach,
over them, so once
keep an eye on
again,
them.
you don't have to click on them.
One of the rewards that you may find while fighting monsters from Breach are tablets.
A couple of months ago in
tablets
Exile
are special items that can be used with precursor towers to add more encounters to the Atlas. Breaches will drop Breach tablets. Clicking on a completed tower will allow you to consume the tablet to add more breaches to areas within range of the tower. This makes all the content in the Atlas self-sustaining. Want to do more breaches? Find the tablets, add them to your towers, get more breaches, getting more tablets. Soon your Atlas will be covered in otherworldly domains.
Is that what
in addition, like all items in PoE, you can craft them. Use your currency to add mods to your tablets, allowing you to upgrade all the breaches in range. Tablets can have up to 2 mods. These mods do things like adding extra rare monsters, extra clasped hands, or even monster density of breaches, allowing you to keep them open longer. Often, you will find multiple towers near to each other with overlapping areas of effect. This can allow you to really juice the mechanic by stacking the mods from multiple tablets. In your fight to hold the breach demons at bay, you may want to use the powers of their world against them. Each endgame mechanic always has player power that can only be gained from that mechanic, and Breach is no different. In Breach, you will find catalysts, items that can increase the quality of rings and amulets by improving specific mobs. You can also find Breach Rings, a special base type that can have its quality improved by catalysts up to 50%. In this case, you could create a ring with around 170 life. Breach Rings can become some of the strongest rings in the game, giving you some good motivation to face the demon hordes. In addition, each endgame mechanic needs to have a pinnacle endgame encounter. While killing Breach monsters, you may find Breach Splinters. Collect enough of these and you'll be able to create a Breach Stone. Using a Vaal technology called the Realm Gate, you can use your Breachstone to access their domain and bring the fight to them. In this twisted domain, you will find nothing but a single massive breach. Triggering it will reveal hordes of Breach inhabitants.
And a boss.
And should you be fast enough, you will be able to fight their leader, Zesht. We that are one.
We that dreamed. We
Flickering Strike, was it? Flickering Strike, right? Sash. I don't remember him. Doug's a lot. Very telegraphed, which is great. You can actually see what's going on.
This is just one of the
boss fights look
of
difficult, man.
We won't
be
showing
just like
the rest
base
of them,
tank.
so you will have to discover them for yourself.
Well, yeah.
But rest assured, this is some of the hardest content we have ever made.
All
of these encounters have specific uniques that can only be found from them. But that's not all. We still have the progression system. Defeating Zesht will give you points to allocate into the Breach section of the Atlas tree. Allocating these points will make breaches and the Breach domain even harder, but will give you more rewards. The small nodes will increase the difficulty of the Twisted Domain, while the large nodes have more specific bonuses. For example, this node adds more clasped hands to your breaches, and adds a pack of magic monsters that can guard them. Get some more points and you can allocate Waking Nightmare, which will double the number of splinters you get from clasped hands, and inflict you with a mysterious debuff. In order to earn more points, you will need to defeat Zesht at a higher difficulty, and some rewards from Zesht can only be found by increasing the difficulty of the Twisted Domain above certain thresholds. Defeating Zesht at difficulty 4 will be a challenge indeed, but there are many more threats in Rayclast. Ritual altars are sacrificial sites built by the mysterious King in the Mists.
I like it.
If you encounter this symbol on the Atlas, then you know that the area contains ritual altars. Ritual altars demand tribute.
played a
Every
ton of
monster you
Ritual as
slaughter
well.
in the circle will feed the altar. After the
And
sacrifice,
Affliction as
touch
well.
it to begin the
And then they
ritual.
combine them into one, right?
The monsters you just killed will be resurrected by the King of the Mist's dark magic, and you must fight to survive.
Does he still last?
The tribute you have offered to the altar can be spent to buy powerful items, but they can be expensive. To gain more tribute, you will want to find
Defer
more
item.
altars. Each successive ritual you do within an area will spawn the monsters revived by the previous ones, in addition to the ones you sacrifice next to it. By the end of an area, you will be fighting a truly imposing number of foes, but will have a significant amount of tribute
Like I
to
said, I
spend.
love Ritual.
One of the rewards you can
I
buy
think
with
that
tribute
has to
are
do with, like,
omens.
tons of monsters.
These are special
That's what I
items
want.
that allow for meta crafting. Crafting items that affect other crafting items. Have an item with good prefixes but bad suffixes? This omen will help you to remove the mod you don't want while keeping the ones you do. There are a bunch more of these with different effects, but we will leave
So
them
you
for you to
click
discover.
it on the
Now don't forget
currency
that
and then on
Ritual
the
will
item.
also drop tablets which can be used to specialize into getting more rituals. If you want to get to the pinnacle boss of Ritual, then you will probably want to use them. They can also be crafted to grant mods, making your rituals more rewarding. The pinnacle encounter of Ritual is the King in the Mists. Feared by the Asmeri people, he is said to have brought eternal darkness to the Wildwood. We won't show the encounter, but just like Breach, there are a range of unique items you can
Just
get
like a
for
little
defeating him,
labyrinth?
and you will gain points in the Ritual section of the Atlas tree. Some maps have been touched by
baby
insanity.
Delirium, I love
a
it.
mysterious entity has taken a special
One of my
interest in
favorite
you.
boss
Step through the looking glass and you will find your nightmares
dialogue.
coming to life. When you touch a
I
mirror,
love
the
Delirium.
mists of Delirium will spread
Again, I
out
played a
across
ton of
the area,
Delirium when it came out
affecting
too.
your mind. You must stay within the mist to maintain the nightmare, which is as profitable as it is terrifying.
Hopefully the guy still
Everything you
talks
kill
crap
will
to you.
increase the rewards that drop. However, the deeper into the mist you travel, the stronger the
That was a
monsters
bad
are.
mistake,
Be
yeah.
careful not to overstay your welcome.
When the
Rare
guy
and
just, like,
unique
charged in, to be
enemies will
honest.
become vessels for terrifying demons, who will manifest out of them to unleash powerful attacks on you. The mist also offers a strange crafting material, distilled emotions. By combining these emotions, you are able to instill your amulet with a notable from the passive skill tree. This is like
of
gaining an
course.
extra passive
Wait, what
point
is
for
this?
free,
Yeah.
attached to your gear.
Yeah.
They are also particularly great because you don't have to traverse the tree to get them, allowing you to get off-class bonuses that would normally be much harder to get. Distilled emotions can also be used to instill your endgame maps, applying Delirious to them and adding additional difficulty and rewards, allowing you to further juice your endgame maps. The tablets you can find from Delirium can be used to further improve it, increase pack size, make the fog dissipate slower, or improve your progress towards
It's
the
cool that you
pinnacle
can back
encounter
off
of
the
Delirium.
shield, you know?
Speaking of which, every now and then you will find simulacrum splinters.
Yep.
The mysterious entity will create strange
Oh, that looks
encounters
so
based
cool,
on
wow.
warped versions of your own memories.
There's the guy.
Monsters and simulacrums come in waves that get progressively more difficult.
Yep.
You will receive loot at the end of each wave,
I
and
love
you
what
will
they've
have
done
to
with
make
the
the
map,
decision
though.
to leave now or continue
colours.
on, facing up against even tougher foes from the mist.
Yep.
The bosses you will face
Oh,
as you
this
get
guy,
deeper
yeah.
into a simulacrum are truly terrifying.
What about the other guy?
If you can complete a simulacrum, you will gain points for the Delirium section of the Atlas skill tree.
No,
Next up,
Expedition.
we have Expedition.
Nah, don't care much for Expedition.
Occasionally,
I
while
didn't play
clearing
this league.
corruption, you
Oh,
will
that's why.
encounter these Kalguran settlers. The Kalgurans have discovered ancient burial sites
Where's
with
their,
lost
King's
Verisium
March? Come on.
artifacts, and they want you to help
Hopefully they
dig
bring
them
it to
up
Path of
with
Exile too.
explosives. The Kalgurans have marked the locations where the
Although
relics
in
can be found. Place
in Expedition, I
explosives as
did
best
play
you
a lot
can
of
to dig up as many as
sorry, not
possible.
Expedition,
There
the
is
last one.
just one problem. Corruption has brought the corpses of
Settlers
their
of
ancestors to
Kalgur, I
life, so
played
you
a
might
lot
have
of
to
it.
do a little cleanup
So I
before
did a
you
lot
can
of
reclaim
Expedition
the
in
artifacts.
Settlers. It was the hot league, you know? A lot of it. Get a bit explosion,
You
just
can also
destroy
find
everything, and that's
remnants,
it.
the destruction of which will further
So in a way, I
anger
kind of
the
like it,
restless
to be
dead.
honest. Now I'm thinking
Each
about
one
it,
you
I
blow up
didn't
will
like
make
it
the subsequent monsters
until
more
this league,
powerful,
you know, I like
but
it.
also more rewarding.
Yeah, okay, I like it. Yeah, it's pretty
Danig, Rog, Tujin,
Yep.
and Gwenin will exchange the artifacts for
all
useful
back.
items and runic magic. You can also find tablets to increase the number of expeditions
good. Did
and
they
the
change their
rewards.
models or no? They looked about the
This
same,
one
to be
increases
honest.
the radius of explosives, while this one increases the number of remnants you will find. Eventually, you might discover a logbook. These are special maps
Yeah,
full
this
of
looks
buried
exactly
treasure
like the
and
first
relics. Essentially, one giant dig site.
Even the teleports.
Here, you can create an extremely long chain of explosives and go through a very high number of remnants. But be careful. Many remnants have mods that can really brick your build, so you will probably want to avoid these ones. If you add too many remnants, you could easily make the encounter harder than you can handle. There are all sorts of interesting things buried under the ground in logbooks. You might find dripping caves and hidden pirate caches, but the most powerful encounter is Olroth, the ancient undead commander of the Knights of the Sun. Defeating him will grant you unique rewards, as well as points to spend in the expedition section of the Atlas.
I didn't find any of the bosses in expedition, to be honest.
So those are the in-game systems on the Atlas, but we are not done yet. The trials we talked about earlier have much more content when you get to Endgame 2. Just like the other in-game systems,
so those
they
are the
also
leagues that
have
are coming
progression
back.
mechanics, unique rewards, and player power that can
So
only
nothing
be
for
gained from
crafting
them.
or anything complicated,
As you
just
get
the simple
higher level
ones.
coins for the Trial of the Sycamores, you will unlock more floors to explore.
Jesus, the traps, holy crap.
Each floor has its own challenging rooms and a floor boss that you will need to kill.
Thank God you got those
There are
minions,
4 floors in total, leading to another pinnacle boss at the end of the last floor, which can only be accessed at endgame. The Trial of the Sycamores is where you'll find jewels, which you can socket into your tree. These are like passives that you can craft with your currency items. They can be really powerful as they allow you to stack modifiers that may not be easily accessible on the tree normally. This jewel gives lightning damage and shock chance, for example.
Of course.
There are quite a few jewel sockets on the tree,
See, they have the
so it's
clusters?
possible to gain a lot of power here. There are also other types of jewels that don't provide any bonuses themselves,
Probably not
but
getting
affect
clusters yet.
other
Also,
passives
the lyrium
surrounding
is
them.
there,
This
so I
jewel
don't know.
increases the effect of small nodes and radius by 25%. With careful placement in the tree, you could get a significant amount of power from it. There are also unique jewels available with very interesting effects,
sure there
but
are.
you will have to find those for yourself. In order to push further into the trial and uncover the secrets of the Maraketh, you will want to take advantage of its progression system, relics. Relics are items that can be placed in the relic altar as you start the trial. They give special bonuses that affect the trial, making it easier and increasing its rewards. Of course, you can craft these with your currency items, making them even stronger. If you can complete the entire trial overcoming all 4 floors, the final boss will reward you with one of many unique relics. These relics will be consumed when used on your next run, but can reward you with unique and powerful items. For example, this is the Last Flame. If you use it, you will have only 1 honor for the entire trial, so you will need to do a completely hitless run.
What if we play melee?
The Trial of Chaos also extends into the endgame.
What if we play melee?
As you gain inscribed ultimatums of higher and higher levels, the number of chambers that you can go through increases. In true Val style, this allows you to take even more risks for even more rewards. At endgame, you can progress through up to 10 chambers with 3 bosses on a single run. Stacking 10 tribulations on top of each other will make this a significant challenge, but it's
that
worth
sounds
it.
very difficult.
The Trial Master will tempt you with items of the Val Empire, such as Val Orbs. Val Orbs are powerful crafting items that corrupt your gear with
That guy's
random
yelling,
mysterious
"You're
outcomes. Corruption prevents an item from being modified further, so it has to be the last step of your craft.
So far,
but
sorry,
it's
I should
also
say
the
so
most
far.
impactful one. For example, if you use one on your body armor, it might add a new
If you get
powerful
corrupted
enchantment,
currency,
or it
which
might re-roll up to half
they're
of
not
its
in this game yet,
modifiers.
I'm guessing.
Val Orbs also have the ability to add a socket, allowing you to bypass the normal restriction of how many sockets
I was gonna
an item
say
can
for sure you
have.
could get like a third
body
one
armor
somehow.
could get up to 3 sockets this way,
that's pretty good.
allowing for a significant number of mods.
It's pretty nice.
Val Orbs
So you're
can
gonna get
even
4 or
modify
something, you know?
uniques. Adding enchantments or sockets to uniques can make them incredibly powerful, but there is a good chance that you will break them as well. The Trial Master will also occasionally offer you soul cores. Originally formed by Chaos, the Val sought to replicate soul cores through human sacrifice rituals and blood magic to power their civilization. Soul cores are powerful socketable items, with mods that cannot be obtained from regular runes. Like all endgame content, there is of course a pinnacle boss. The final chamber will drop keys to this mysterious door. Some say this is where the Trial Master himself resides. Perhaps you are willing to take the risk to find out. Had enough yet? Because there is still just one more thing. The most difficult content in Path of Exile 2.
Okay, this was
While
easy so
mapping,
far.
you might come across this fortress that has emerged from underground, surrounded by an enormous maze riddled with danger.
Oh,
Is
no,
the maze
not the labyrinth.
preventing something from getting in? or something getting out.
True.
This fortress is of ancient origin, and its construction has similarities to the towers and tablets that you have been using on your journey through the endgame. It is clear from the entrance that there are 3 keys required to enter. Local factions are vying for access to the fortress in order to seize the power they believe will be inside. Each of the faction's leaders have managed to get their hands on one of the keys, so you will need to defeat them. Each faction is led by an Uber-Act boss. You can see one of them inhabiting the city, but in order to fight him, you will first need to defeat their 2 lieutenants in the adjacent zones. Be careful. If you fail against either of the lieutenants, or to kill the leader, they will move on, and you will need to find them again. Kill all the Uber bosses and you will gain access to the fortress. We aren't going to spoil it, as we can't wait to see you guys attempt it for the first time. But is there a tree you get points in after killing it? Of course there is. This is Path of Exile. There is always another tree.
So these are your challenges for PoE 2.
Wow.
As you can see, this project is crazy huge. Way bigger than even we expected when we started out. But how do you gain access?
Curious.
Well, during early access, you'll need a key to get in.
Yeah, I didn't get one.
Our
Thanks to
existing PoE
GGG.
supporters who have spent more than
Send me one
$480
for,
US,
Path of Exile
we'll be giving
free,
you guys a key for the PC
In
version
20
for
years
free.
from now.
Anyone else who wants one can get one by purchasing one of the new early access supporter packs that have just been released to the store.
Oh, I guess that's
If you just want early access to PoE 2, then you can get a key in the $30 US early access pack.
Oh, this, I'm gonna get this.
The pack also comes with $30 of points to spend in the MTX store. But we also have a variety of other supporter packs filled with exclusive microtransactions, points to spend in the store, and even physical items. The cosmetics can be used right now in PoE 1 and in Path of Exile 2 when early access starts.
Jesus, 480.
Most of this footage has been recorded in Path of Exile 1, since that's where you can use them immediately. The Lord of Ogham supporter pack contains a cosmetic armor set befitting of the Count of Ogham himself.
That's the bad
There
guy,
is
right?
also a matching back attachment, which has an alternate variant depicting the influence of corruption.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Also in this pack, you can find a portal formed of the rusted armor of the fallen soldiers in the Red Vale of Ogham, and the offspring of a vicious crowbell boss found in the hunting grounds. This one doesn't look so vicious though. On top of that, you'll receive the Iron Count's Zweihander to apply to your one-handed or two-handed swords. For those who are wanting to decorate your hideouts with fond memories and tales of Path of Exile's history, you will also get a series of hideout statues. This pack contains the statue of Hillock. For Path of Exile 1's closed beta, each pack contained a true New Zealand icon, the Kiwi.
Yeah, of course.
Following this tradition, all packs in this series will also contain a new themed Kiwi pet. The pet will loyally follow you into battle, but run away at the first sign of trouble.
That's pretty funny.
Become the ruler of the desert with the King of the Faradin supporter pack. Show your mastery of traversing the sands of the Vasteri Plains. The body armor will allow you to glide along the ground with ancient sand magic. Now each armor set comes with body armor, boots, gloves, and helmet, but the boots are covered in sand. If you'd prefer to show them off, you can turn the gliding off if you want.
It's pretty cool. Good options, great options.
The accompanying back attachment equips you with 2 powerful pillars that can control and manipulate lightning. They will periodically release their energy in a powerful blast while in town, and hover in a circle around you, arcing lightning between them, forming a barrier of energy. Replace the appearance of any bow with the Faradin's Glory skin.
Are those like hands?
Or replace the appearance of a spear with the Tyranny's End spear skin. This spear skin can be applied to staves and war staves in Path of Exile 1.
Matches the armor.
If you want to truly show your worth as a king of the Faradin, then you definitely need your trusty, moving, entire city fortress known as the Dreadnought to travel across the Vasteri Plains.
That's your hideout.
In Path of Exile, you can decorate your hideout however you like, and it's no exception here.
That's so cool.
It comes with a variety of thematic elements to use, or use decorations from elsewhere in the game.
Syndicate.
Additionally, you will get the Deshret's Blessing level up effect.
Nice.
The King of the Faradin Kiwi pet. And last but not least, a statue depicting the Vaal Oversoul from Path of Exile 1.
Skeleton.
For those who don't know how supporter packs work, each pack comes with all of the cosmetics from the previous tier, so you'll get all the items from the Lord of Ogham supporter pack as well. The Thaumaturge of the Vaal supporter pack features an armor set and back attachment themed around the Vaal and their pursuit of science and progress. You can find the Soul Core weapon effect in this pack, which causes thaumaturgic energy harnessed from sacrifice to spill from your weapon.
It's just enough, you know?
This pack also contains Doryani's Idol.
A lot of
it
red.
replaces the default appearance of any foe card to an ancient relic once used by Doryani, and this can be applied to shields in Path of Exile 1. That's not the only Vaal weapon you'll find. it also contains the Wand of the Thaumaturge skin and the Royal Sacrifice Dagger skin. You wouldn't think to put sacrificial gems on a Kiwi, but the Vaal did. Thaumaturge of the Vaal supporters will receive the Thaumaturge of the Vaal Kiwi pet and the Statue of Dominus. This is also the first pack in the series with a physical item. When purchasing this pack, you'll receive a Path of Exile 2 logo t-shirt. But if you don't want one, you can opt out and return for additional points to spend in the store.
Nice.
Becoming a Warlord of the Karui supporter will grant you an armor set and back attachment adorned in jade carvings and iridescent feathers resembling power. Enough to even impress the ancestral gods, specifically Tukohama, the Karui god of war. Overkill, you say? I think the Karui people would disagree. Why not drop a gigantic totem on rare enemies you slay to crush them to a pulp?
I love it breaks out.
Replace your crafting bench in your hideout with the Ancestral Canoe crafting bench, where Ancestral Chief Mata will summon a giant canoe manned by Karui warriors to aid in your crafting desires.
That's crazy. I'm really going wild with these, huh?
You'll also get a pair of weapon skins. Equip Akoya's Felling Axe skin to your one-hand or two-handed axes, or Tukohama's Crusher to your one-handed or two-handed maces.
That looks crazy.
A true Karui warlord is always accompanied by their trusty Kiwi.
Of course.
Equipped with armor and harnessing ancestral magic, they make the perfect sidekick. Once one of the most feared beings in Rayclast, Malachi was slain by a powerful exile. May the statue commemorate the virtue of exiles past, present, and of the future.
What happened to our exile?
Of course, it's not all about dressing up in game.
Well, unless it's one of these guys.
You want to look good in real life too. By becoming a Warlord of the Karui supporter,
right?
you'll also get a Path of Exile 2 hoodie. Our final tier of supporter pack in the series is the Liberator of Rayclast supporter pack.
Jesus Christ.
The Liberator of Rayclast armor set and back attachment come made with the finest materials in Rayclast.
That's a lot.
And shattered glass mosaics suspended in divine power.
It's a lot of pink
Set
and
up your
gold.
base of operations in the Beacon of Salvation hideout.
Jeez.
Why restrict yourself to just one island when you can liberate more? The Beacon of Salvation hideout comes equipped with your own collection of small islands and personal operators of boats that you can use to row between them.
What the
Just walk to the piers, click a boat to enter, and navigate as you choose. Decorate each island as you see fit to best represent your well-earned hideout.
Yeah, I guess if you
Everyone
choose
in your
one, you
hideout
have to
can
like
use their own
switch
boat.
between them.
Why not
but
have some races?
it's true.
You can also get the Window to Twilight portal effect.
Wow, that's a
beautiful
lot,
mosaic
man.
piece of art that shatters and reveals a
Get
gateway to your
both.
desired destination
What the
as you
hell?
approach it.
That's
As
so
you
unique.
walk away, the glass magically reforms back to its
Nice.
original form.
That's nice.
Rule and style with the Throne of the Ruler map device. Sure, this map device can create portals to in-game maps, but it also comes with a throne you can sit on to oversee your growing
that's
kingdom.
So cool.
Look down on the plebeians running your maps. Being the Liberator, though, is not just about sitting on your throne all day. If you do decide to join the fight yourself,
Different
you can
sitting
leave a High
animations.
Priest in charge as your second in command.
Oh, never mind. That's a different guy.
Liberator of Rayclast supporters will also get a set of varied weapon skins. The
It's a
Light
lot
of
of money,
Divinity
but it
scepter
is
skin,
nice, man.
the Deliverance crossbow skin,
Jeez.
the Justice flail skin, and the Redemption shield skin. Once again, you'll have an accompanying Kiwi, and of course a statue depicting one of the most iconic events in Rayclast's history. The battle between a
Yes,
powerful exile
makes
and
sense.
Kitava, the
That makes
Insatiable.
sense.
With the help of two deities,
Yeah,
Sin and
Sin
Innocence,
and-
the exile
yeah,
was able to
Innocence.
defeat him once and for all. This supporter pack also contains the Path of Exile 2 art book. This 215-page full-color art book includes a huge amount of amazing concept art and lore produced during the long and exciting journey of Path of Exile 2's development.
It's pretty nice.
And finally, Path of Exile has a tradition of letting the community participate in designing game features. For Path
Oh,
of
you
Exile
get one
2,
of
we're
those.
adding the Twilight Order foil reliquary. By becoming a Liberator of Rayclast supporter, once Path of Exile 2 is released, you will be able to select any unique item you have found and be able to drop it from the reliquary. Once players have submitted their items, keys to the reliquary will start dropping, and other players will be able to find foil versions of uniques that you have submitted, along with a message for the lucky player.
Yep.
The more players submit the same unique, the more chances there will be for the reliquary to drop them, so choose wisely. Now, almost all of these
nice.
items are available to use in PoE 1 right now. There are a few exceptions where the item class clearly doesn't exist, such as crossbows or flails. And there are also a few microtransactions on weapon types that are unavailable in PoE 2 at the start of early access. Once classes that use those weapon types are added, Those microtransactions will be available to use.
So you can use them right now, basically.
If you can't decide which supporter pack to choose yet, you can always start with the Early Access supporter pack that just includes a key and some points to spend in the store.
I will.
Then you can upgrade to any of the following tiers at a later date.
Nice.
These supporter packs will be available for purchase throughout Early Access. We'd really like to thank you for your ongoing support. Without you guys, Path of Exile 2 could not have happened. Now, I'm sure you guys have a lot of questions. Stick around, because coming up next, we have a live Q&A with Ziggy D.
I can't believe I actually spent like an hour and 20 minutes to watch this video. I mean, you might as well be watching a movie or something, you know, but I think it was well worth it. There's so much stuff to unpack. I like what I'm seeing. There's so much, like, again, I'm seeing things, I'm thinking of things, and I'm like, I'm gonna talk about them at the end. By the time I get to the end, I already like forgot about them. There's so much stuff going on. I didn't see Cyclone. I didn't see what's it called? I didn't see the Duelist or the Slayer, obviously. That was my main in Path of Exile 1, but it's fine. We're gonna try the Mercenary, I think. We'll see what's up with that one. Maybe even the Warrior with like the two-handers there. It looks pretty cool. Ascension Trials, I absolutely hate it. I hated the Labyrinth, and now it's not gonna get any better. And some of this stuff sounds really, really difficult. A lot of the previous leagues are back. Well, a few of them. Nothing too complicated for the ones that are coming back. They're all like very simple kill all monsters kind of thing. You know, there's no like Settlers of Kalgur. There's no Harvest. You know, there's nothing like too complicated. You know, it's just kill. We're gonna start easy, kill enemies. That's all it is. You know, no crafting or nothing else for now. Well, besides like small stuff, right? It looks absolutely amazing. I can't wait to play it. Thank you for watching. Peace.